Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up, how this form may be increasing sexual assault reports by 300%.
And the front page and frontal nudity will have the story and the controversy.
It'll be all hands on deck when the basketball team heads to San Diego.
And how one website is fired up about firing Thorpe.
Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
The numbers are staggering, a more than 300% increase in sexual assaults on campus. Good evening, I'm Preston Jones.
And I'm Kathleen Whitty. Although those numbers are increasing, officials say it's a good thing. That's because students now have more options for reporting these crimes, and they're using them. Julia De Silva is a women's studies major, the publicity chair for Project Dina, and an instructor for One Act interpersonal violence prevention training, all sexual violence support groups. Even so, it took her 6 months to report her own sexual assault.
And I was conducting a training, and there was a slide that came up with the definition of rape. And somebody read it aloud, and I just kind of stopped and was like, that's me. That was me.
According to the Department of Justice, 1 in 4 college women are sexually assaulted, but only 5% of them report the assault. But that may be changing at UNC. Starting last year, the university is offering blind reporting. That means a victim can choose to report an assault without revealing names. Assistant Dean of Students Melinda Manning.
Basically, the student can put the information on record, but Department of Public Safety will not conduct a full investigation that of course could lead to criminal charges being filed.
De Silva says this is the right option for many victims.
It was part of my healing process. It's a part of a lot of people's healing process to get it out and admit, yes, this did happen to me.
And there are other benefits to blind reporting.
There's a lot of research that shows that survivors who first file a blind report are more likely to change that blind report into a full report.
Since blind reporting has been an option, UNC has seen a rise in recorded on-campus sexual assaults. According to the campus security report, only 4 assaults were reported in 2008, 6 in 2009, and then up to 17 in 2010. And the numbers may be even higher this year. But blind reporting doesn't mean the police turn a blind eye. Randy Young at the Department of Public Safety makes that clear.
If we find that there's an ongoing imminent threat to campus, we will have to initiate by law our own investigation in order to at least rule out that threat.
De Silva says it's hard knowing her assailant is still out there, but it was the only way she could deal.
Because there's so many other things that you're dealing with on the inside, that when it comes to submitting a report or thinking about taking somebody to court, it's kind of, for me at least, that got pushed to the back of my mind, and I was like, how am I going to live my life every day?
Blind reporting forms are available all over campus. You can get one from the Dean of Students office or even the bathrooms in the Union. You can also submit a blind report online at safe.unc.edu.
Not everyone in Chapel Hill enjoyed the Halloween festivities on Franklin Street. One local coalition is proposing the town and the celebration all together. Members of the Coalition for Alcohol and Drug-Free Teenagers of Chapel Hill and Carborough say the celebration encourages underage drinking. After the town implemented homegrown Halloween, crowds of 80,000 in years past dwindled to around 27,000 this year. But the group says the festivities are still dangerous and the event should be moved to campus. No plans to do that just yet. Is it okay to put a picture of a streaker, full frontal nudity and all, on the front page of a newspaper? Well, the editors of the student newspaper at East Carolina University apparently think it is, and they've created quite a stir.
But what about here? Would the editors of the Daily Tar Heel ever consider doing the same thing? We sent Caitlin Yannick to find out.
A picture may be worth 1,000 words, but this picture was producing some words of its own. The East Carolinian ran the picture on the front page. DTH Editor-in-Chief Stephen Norton says he applauds the paper's boldness.
I'm glad they went for it. I'm not a fan of censorship. If you know it's something that's really going to grab a lot of students, then you're going to run it because they're our primary readership.
So I showed the photo to some UNC students. This is what they had to say.
I mean, I think the story's funny. I think they could run something about the story, and I'm sure it would be like in the kvetching board, but not a frontal nudity picture on the front page of the paper. I think that's crossing a couple lines.
So I wouldn't expect the Daily Tar Heel ever to produce anything like that. You know, especially at an institution with class, honor, and integrity.
UNC journalism professor Dr. Rhonda Gibson agrees.
It was very graphic in a very sexual nature, and I think the negatives far outweigh the positives, even if they'd put the photograph inside so that when you open the newspaper you don't see it. Even if they'd only put it on the website, I still would recommend using a little more demure photo that isn't as graphic.
I mean, we're students, so we're a student paper, and so that, I think, gives us a little bit of wiggle room to be courageous, be risky, and try the things that professional papers can't.
Norton says to his knowledge, the DTH has never published full frontal nudity. In Chapel Hill, I'm Caitlin Yonick, Carolina Week.
The East Carolinian is independent of the university. University officials reportedly have spoken with the editors of the paper, expressing their concern about the picture. And now Apex police are looking for a bank robber, and they think he's a UNC student. This is the image of the person in question taken from a security camera. Police say the man went into a SunTrust bank in Apex just after 6 on Monday evening and handed the teller a note demanding money.
Technology improves every day, and officials here in Chapel Hill say it's helping to catch the bad guys. The search is over for a hit-and-run driver in the Briarcliff neighborhood. This 21-year-old Michael Patrick Harper, you see him right there, was caught because of neighbors like this.
I heard a screech of tires, which we often hear in the neighborhood at night, and I sort of tensed myself and listened, and sure enough, I heard a bang afterwards. So I got out of bed and looked out the window, and I could see taillights going up the hill.
Residents of the Briarcliff neighborhood used the community listserv to communicate with each other about the incident, and officials say they were able to gather enough information to catch the driver. The incident happened right here in front of this house. Harper hit a car that was parked out front. Now, neighbors say the car flew into the yard, and you can still see the marks in the grass right there, and there's also some glass still in the road. Harper was arrested, but then released on bond.
For the 5th time since 2004, Chapel Hill has won an award for our outstanding traffic safety. It's once again the Outstanding North Carolina Traffic Safe Community. But do students here at UNC really feel that safe with the traffic here?
Definitely almost get in an accident all the time.
As a pedestrian, I feel very safe. I think here more than in most other places I've been.
I feel pretty safe here. There's typically not much traffic here.
Yes, when I'm driving, I'm like, I hate pedestrians. But then when I'm walking, I'm like, gosh, I go to school here. So yeah, so I guess I would totally be a hypocrite.
It's good to know when you're walking that if you are in a hurry and you are running, the guy behind the wheel is probably going to slow down for you.
Traffic safety at Chapel Hill is fine. I haven't gotten hit by any cars.
I see someone starting to go and I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. And I try to get there before they get there.
I feel like there's this self-entitlement that goes with being a pedestrian.
I'd feel safe walking blindfolded across the street.
The award is rightfully deserved, and I think we do have safe traffic here.
I feel I'm neutral about the traffic situation. It's not a bad thing, but it's not necessarily the best I've seen.
Pretty slow on like the roads around here, and the cars are pretty nice.
He's known for being able to solve a Rubik's Cube in seconds, for playing the piano at basketball games, and for firing Butch Davis. But it's the latter that has one online group trying to get the chancellor out of the picture. It's called FireHoldenthorpe.com. It's on Twitter and on Facebook, and its message is very clear, firing Chancellor Holdenthorpe for this infamous statement.
Yesterday, I asked Coach Davis to step down as head coach effective immediately.
The site creator says firing Davis was the final straw in Thorpe's long journey of leadership mistakes. People claiming to be alumni are posting letters online they've written the chancellor and creating cartoonish photos seen here to ridicule Thorpe. Activity on the website dwindled until last week when a small plane flew above campus, stirring things up yet again. The plane carried a banner that read, "Reunite UNC," and pointed to RemoveThorpe.com, the same site as FireHoldenthorpe.com. Now, the chancellor wouldn't respond to our request for an interview or even give us a statement. But if supporters of FireHoldenthorpe.com have their way, we could have a new chancellor here at South Building. Students and faculty on campus have mixed feelings about Thorpe.
I think, firing Holdenthorpe over this, something that happened
as a result of some of the coaches and coaching staff. I think that's a little bit much.
I feel like he's not a good representative of the university as a whole. I thought we should have fired him originally.
He actually has done a really good job in working with the NCAA and cooperating, and so I think he should not be fired.
A recent report by the Charlotte Observer shows Thorpe's disapproval rating shrinking. 19% of fans think he should be fired. That number down from 23% just 2 months ago. But the question remains, what's Thorpe's fate and will it change? If supporters of FireHoldenThorpe.com have anything to do with it, Thorpe will end up with former colleagues Davis and Bedore off the payroll. Now, we were unable to contact the website's creators for comment. Only the Board of Trustees has the power to fire Thorpe. UNC System President Tom Ross has made it very clear he stands behind the chancellor.
And coming up, we'll show you how all these grapes are helping to sweeten the tourist industry here in North Carolina.
Tar Heel. I'm Preston Jones, anchor for Carolina Week, and I'm proud to be a Tar Heel.
My name is Kathleen Whitty. I'm a reporter and anchor for Carolina Week, but most importantly, I am a Tar Heel.
I'm Carolina Week sports anchor Andy Reeves, and I'm a Tar Heel.
I'm Lindsay Hawkins, senior producer for Carolina Week, and I love being a Tar Heel.
The results are in, and we'll be talking about the winners in just a second. But first, more people voted in this year's municipal elections than last time, a lot more. Election officials here in Orange County say 5,000 more voters went to the polls this year than in 2009. Voter turnout was about 17.5%. Nearly 18,000 people came out to vote.
Recent UNC grad Lee Storrow ran a strong campaign for Chapel Hill Town Council, but it all came down to the vote. After a lot of waiting and watching the votes come in, Storrow and his staff got the results they'd been waiting for. Storrow won a seat on the town council along with 3 incumbents. He celebrated at R&R later. Taking pictures, there he is. He celebrated and got a visit from re-elected Mayor Mark Kleinschmidt. Storrow won a seat on the council along with the 3 incumbents. Lee Storrow will be sworn into office December 5th, just 5 months after he graduated from UNC.
Well, she's already an elected official. We all know her. She's not from the town of Chapel Hill, but for the students here at UNC, she's representing them.
And of course, we're talking about Mary Cooper, student body president, and we wondered what it might be like to have that job. Well, first, Adam Schreiner discovers her day starts at 7 in the morning and don't end until after midnight.
Try following student body president Mary Cooper around for a day. It's not easy.
This morning I spoke at the Employees Forum.
Then she had office hours, and then during her lunch break, she met with auxiliary services to discuss CCI printing to the Greek community. This is a project Cooper and her administration have not implemented. Not yet. The Student Enrichment Fund, on the other hand, is in full force. Cooper stopped at the sign-up table in the pit.
What is this? Like, tell me about it.
So this is the Student Enrichment Fund. It's a project.
Then I moved to class because I am a student.
I was beginning to wonder, but sure enough, she does go to class. She's majoring in environmental health sciences in the School of Public Health. Being a student is one of 3 things Cooper juggles in her life.
1, I'm a student now. 2, I'm student body president, so all the responsibilities that come with that. And 3, the future.
So how does she do it? She does have some help from a Board of Trustees parking pass on campus, although she insists.
And I normally don't drive to class, but when I'm late, I do.
But while driving to class, Cooper says what really motivates her is
To be included, to have administrators listen is truly something that is unique and an honor, and is something that every Carolina student should be proud of. Because if you have an idea, if you have a concern, people are here to listen to you.
Having people listen makes all the difference. And she says it is very important to her. Students know her main goal is to listen to them. In Chapel Hill, I'm Adam Schreiner, Carolina Week.
One topic that's been on everyone's minds lately, tuition increases. The Board of Governors for the university system will meet Friday, and a possible tuition hike for the next year is on the agenda. We'll have a crew there, and we'll bring you a report on that next Wednesday. UNC is sending more and more students overseas with top honors. This university ranks in the top 10 for Fulbright recipients in 2010 and 2011. This year, the grant will allow 18 UNC students to study, teach, or conduct research abroad by covering their travel and monthly expenses. The Fulbright program was created to improve U.S. relations with other countries. UNC is one of the only 3 top public universities to be in the top 10.
Well, we've all seen reality TV shows like Jersey Shore and The Bachelor, but one new matchmaking show could be filmed in Carrboro of all places. Looking for love? These Carrboro ladies sure are. They're auditioning to be on Oprah's new reality TV show called Lovetown USA. The auditions kicked off at Glass Half Full in Carrboro on Tuesday night. Residents had a chance to fill out applications and sit down for an interview. If Carrboro is selected as the Lovetown, they could get set up with local singles. Casting calls are being held throughout this week. I think even heard one of our producers might run out there, so you know, only in Carrboro.
Only in Carrboro.
Well, shows like that continue to make the film and television industry more and more important to our state. That's also true of the wine industry.
Reporter Cassie Scarsha shows us why more than 1.3 million tourists visit North Carolina wineries each year and what makes such a trip so enticing.
As the sun rises, workers begin their morning harvest at Raffaldini Vineyards. Jay Raffaldini's family started producing Italian wine more than 650 years ago, and now he runs his own vineyard. And the best part is you can get your own taste of this old world experience a short 2 hours away in Wilkes County, North Carolina.
What makes us different from others is just our Italian heritage, our connection, and just what we're trying to transport you to Italy. That slower time that made us all so much happier.
Raffaldini says choosing North Carolina was actually an odd choice.
The fertility is absolutely terrible, right? It's the worst piece of property you ever want to farm on. That's why we chose it, because generally the grapes like it when they have to struggle.
North Carolina land isn't perfect for grapes only, but also for tourists looking for a little escape from everyday life.
It's got a very Italian atmosphere to it. It's very relaxing to sit out here, just very, very, very beautiful.
In addition to the beauty of the vineyard, visitors can also get the scoop about how to make authentic Italian wine. After the grapes are harvested, they come here to the winery, where the workers say all the magic happens. This magic includes a special process of sorting grapes in a destemmer, checking them by hand for any unwanted products, and dumping them in the fermenter along with a secret powder. For winemaker Kylie Evans, the process is personal.
There's something really pleasing and fulfilling about taking a product and processing your product and turning it into something else and then having that product available to the marketplace.
This production process is helping the industry grow quickly. According to the State Wine and Grape Council, North Carolina ranked 7th for wine production in 2009. To help North Carolina wine stand out even more, Evans aims for one thing in particular.
Wines that maintain a sense of elegance on the palate. That's what we really want, sophisticated wines.
Emphasizing quality wine isn't important for Raffaldini only, but also North Carolina's economy. The wine industry brought almost $1.3 billion into the state's economy in 2009. Along with quality wine, making a personal connection with visitors is key. Raffaldini considers that to be his legacy.
You have to look back and reflect upon your life. Did I enjoy these moments? Did I make something special that will outlive me? Right? Because my impact is not when I'm here now. My impact is when I'm gone. That's how legacies live on, and that's why I love every day what I do here.
Raffaldini says he ultimately hopes to create a love for North Carolina vineyards so that people will enjoy all the beauty they have to offer for generations to come. In Wilkes County, North Carolina, I'm Cassie Scarsha, Carolina Week.
According to the Division of Tourism, North Carolina's wine industry is growing fast. Since 2000, the number of wineries in North Carolina has grown 5-fold and isn't slowing down anytime soon.
For a link to Raffaldini's website and the North Carolina Division of Tourism's website on vineyards, please visit our website, carolinaweek.org.
Could the weather be any better, and how long is it going to last? Next on Carolina Week, meteorologist Drew Day will let us know what we can expect.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making Home Affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
life's this hard, it's no wonder 7,000 students drop out every school day. Visit boostup.org and help kids in your community stay in school.
All right, welcome back to Carolina Week, everybody. I'm Drew Day. Thank you so much for staying with us. As we take a look at your weather headlines, we have a cold front that will be moving through the area throughout the day tomorrow. And with that cooler air will come a big cool down in our temperatures. We also have Tropical Storm Sean to talk about. As we take a look at Sean right now on the satellite imagery, you can see that there is the center of circulation just to the east of Florida, right there at the top of your screen. And Sean will continue to move to the north throughout the coming days. You can see the eye of the storm there, and it will continue to move to the north. As we take a look at the forecast track, you can see there is the center of circulation with Sean right there where the label is, and it will continue to push to the north. It's got winds at 65 miles per hour right now, and it will continue to push to the northeast. The island of Bermuda may be impacted by this storm, but for us, we do not expect any impacts from Sean. As we take a look at the satellite imagery right now, you can see that it looks like we're being converged on from all directions with the cloud cover. You see this cloud cover offshore is in association with Tropical Storm Sean, and we also have this cold front off to the west that is moving to the east and will be upon us throughout the day tomorrow. As we take a look at the satellite imagery right now, you can see a little bit more of Sean as it starts to move into the image there. But right here is the cold front, right where you see this area where there's not a lot of cloud cover. That is where the cold front is. And as we take a look at the surface map right now, this is an analysis of what's currently going on. There is the front just to the east, and it is producing some rainfall to our west. And you've probably also heard a little bit about this front out in Oklahoma, producing some tornadoes. There are also some tornado warnings in Louisiana. That will not be the case for us tomorrow. We expect much quieter weather. In fact, as this front moves throughout the day tomorrow, there's just a small chance of rain, perhaps about only 10%. Really, all we are going to be seeing from this cold front is a change in temperatures. We had this high pressure system off to the west, and with that, some cooler air will start moving in from the north, and that means cooler temperatures for us. So overnight tonight, it'll be a cool evening out there with partly cloudy skies, temperatures right around 48 degrees. And then for tomorrow, it'll be mostly cloudy out there with a slight chance of rain. Again, only about 10%, so no need to lug that umbrella or rain jacket with you. A high of 63. And taking a look at tomorrow, 8 a.m., 54 degrees. 63 degrees by noon and 48 by 8 p.m. And take note, 63 will be our high tomorrow afternoon. And as we take a look now at your Carolina Week 5-day forecast, you can see the weekend looks great. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be sunny, but much cooler.
Looks like it. Well, thank you so much, Drew.
All right, you're welcome.
Well, I bet you've never seen a basketball game played over water. Coming up in sports, we have more on that.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm Andy Reeves. Well, Veterans Day is this Friday, and what better way to salute our troops than to play a game on one of their ships? This might just be one of those games you have to see to believe. Should be quite a spectacle as Carolina takes on Michigan State in the first ever game played on an aircraft carrier. The last time these two teams met, the Heels sunk the Spartans 89-82. But of course, that was 2 seasons ago, and the teams are hardly the same. Starters Tyler Zeller and John Henson, as well as Dexter Strickland, played in that game. There's Strickland with the buzzer beater. President Barack Obama will be attending the game on the USS Carl Vinson. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because that's the ship that transported the body of Osama bin Laden after he was killed. The game's in San Diego, and right now they're calling for rain. If that happens, they will play on a smaller court below the deck. Well, there's at least one football team on campus that can beat NC State. The men's soccer team smoked the Pack last night in the ACC tournament quarterfinals. We'll pick things up in the 13th minute. Off the corner kick, here's Jordan Gappa between the legs of the State defender to give UNC the early lead. The Heels would score again before halftime, but the hard times were only beginning for Pack fans. Not 5 minutes into the second half, Enzo Martinez feeds Mikey Lopez for the header. Lopez's second goal of the season gave UNC a 3-0 advantage. And here you're about to see a nice little celebration dance from Lopez, and he earned it. As Carolina cruises 4-0, they'll take on Virginia in the ACC semis at the Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary on Friday. Well, Matt Kolajczyk is on the UNC football team and was a standout player in high school. But he may not be the most successful athlete or Tar Heel in his family. His sister is a national champion. Sierra Watkins has more on this sibling rivalry.
Competition is part of the Kolajczyk family.
It's in our blood.
Kelsey, a communications major, and her older brother Matt, a management and society major, look to outdo each other in just about everything growing up. You name it, they've competed in it.
You know, we always were competitive, starting, you know, with like even operation. It was like if one of us won, it'd be like rematch right away, you know.
As they grew up, it was less about board games and more about college scholarships.
So we used to joke around in high school and see, you know, who got more letters from colleges that week or who got more interviews that week.
And if you saw like a letter coming in, we'd be like, who's it for? Who's it for?
Even though they're both at Carolina, Matt, the running back, and Kelsey, the star field hockey player, still like to compete.
It's a fun rivalry.
So who's the better athlete?
I'd like to say I am, but you know, it's tough to decide.
After all, Kelsey is the star of the team that just won an ACC championship, while Matt mostly contributes on special teams. So right now she might have the edge. No matter, the two enjoy representing the same school at the collegiate level.
Well, obviously it's a unique experience, you know, being able to go to the same school as my sister is obviously a good thing.
I always will have someone, you know, behind me if I needed somebody, you know.
And they've sort of made Chapel Hill their home, away from home. In Chapel Hill, I'm Sierra Watkins, Carolina Week.
Well, guys, this week the football team is on their bye, but Kelsey and the field hockey ladies will start first-round play of the NCAA tournament here in Chapel Hill Saturday morning against Ohio.
No football, but still a lot going on.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Andy.
Preston, I'm wondering, have you seen all of these crazy costumes all over campus?
I thought Halloween was over.
I thought it was too. Well, coming up next, we're going to find out why some students are dressed up.
If you have a story idea, call Carolina Week at 919-843-8292 or email us at carolinaweek@unc.edu. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNC-CH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina 27599. Be sure to check out Carolina Week and Carolina Connection online at carolinaweek.org.
Well, it's that spirited time of year again, Dancer Recruitment Week for UNC Dance Marathon. You may have seen the brightly dressed Dance Marathon recruiters during a flash mob in the Union or heard them yelling. Yep, they're trying to get people to sign up for Dance Marathon. It's a 24-hour dance-a-thon to raise money for NC Children's Hospital, and this is just a preview of the 24 hours of dancing ahead in February. Well, you know what, Preston? I actually did Dance Marathon last year for the first time, and it was an incredibly tough experience, I won't lie.
One of our producers, Danielle, was in here on Monday, and she was all dressed up with the big glasses and the bright colors.
There was so much neon, I didn't even know where to look.
Too much to look at.
Too much to look at. Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Good night.